Well, The Fault in Our Stars, which opens today nationwide, is a touching film about a young woman's journey battling cancer, all while falling in love. Our Dawn Neufeld recently sat down with two of the film's stars. Take a look.
Well, let's talk about The Fault in Our Stars, and let's start with the book and where you came up with the inspiration for it.
Yeah, I was trying to write a book about teenagers living with illness for a long, long time, for almost 10 years. But I didn't really find a way into it until after a really good friend of mine named Esther died of cancer in 2010 when she was 16. And the book is dedicated to her. And Esther was such a funny, vibrant, empathetic, complicated person. She wasn't defined by her illness. She wasn't primarily a person living with cancer. She was primarily like a really interesting, funny, compassionate, cynical, scared person like any other person. And Esther is very different from Hazel, the main character of the novel, in a lot of important ways. But knowing Esther and loving Esther was a way into the story for me.
And how important was it for you to translate what was going on in the book on the film? I know that's a big deal for people. They want it to be authentic and true to the book. So how are you able to translate that into the movie?
Well, Weber and Neustadter, who wrote the screenplay, just wrote an incredible script, so I was really lucky. I kind of won the lottery. I won the lottery over and over again to be able to work with these incredible actors, to have such a great director in Josh Boone, amazing producers, a great studio who's willing to take a chance on a movie where the female romantic lead has oxygen tubes in her nose in every frame of the movie. I just was really lucky, basically.
Well, it's such a great movie. You gotta tell me about my girl, Hazel Grace. Tell me about this very strong, complicated, yet uncomplicated young woman.
I mean, I think that the one thing that I really loved about Hazel is that she is so normal in the sense that she's a 16-year-old going through very normal 16-year-old things with a heightened stakes, just simply, that those being cancer. But Hazel understands things that a lot of people in their 50s, 60s don't understand, which is that living a life for yourself is far more powerful than leading a life in pursuit of others recognizing your greatness. And that is a hard lesson and a very difficult lesson, I think, in our society to understand, because we're constantly being told that in order to be important, others have to validate you. And Hazel doesn't really have that. Hazel validates herself. And even with Gus, she's not with him to receive validation. She's with him, and he recognizes her, and he appreciates her, and he respects her, and he loves her. But it's not based upon the principles of needing to be validated. So I think, she completely changed the way that I looked at a lot of my life and inner workings. And I think she's an incredible role model for a lot of people out there.
What's the takeaway from this movie? It's sad. I saw men crying. Let's just keep it real, okay? Men were crying in that theater. It's a sad movie, but there's hope. I mean, that's what I got from it, and that, there's something to look forward to. Each one of you, what's your takeaway from this movie?
I worry a lot about cheap hope, like the kind of hope that maybe is easy to get access to, but then in a really hard time it doesn't hold you up, it doesn't lift you up. What I felt when I was watching the movie, aside from being very grateful and relieved, I felt like it was the kind of hope that can stand up to scrutiny, the kind of hope that I think if we did our job, it's the kind of hope that you can take down into the darkest moments and it'll still kind of hold a light there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think I think there was a big emphasis on keeping the tone of the book with the tone of the movie, and I really do feel like at the end of the book, I was upset, but I sort of, well, somebody came up to me a couple days ago and said, right after I saw this movie, I called everybody I loved and told them that I loved them. And I was like, I think that's a great thing to get from a movie. You don't need anything else. That's why I think it's powerful, because you've grown to love these people as people, along with their sickness. And then so at the end when it takes them, it's upsetting, but you've watched this beautiful experience.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I think that I don't even know, obviously it's a sad story, but I don't see it as a sad story. I see it as a realistic story. You know, life is exciting in one moment, and the next moment it's completely tragic, and the next moment it's exciting again, and it's a constant roller coaster and a constant ebb and flow, and I think that this movie is a great example of that.
Good stuff, you guys. Thank you so much. It's a great film.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to more people seeing it because it's great.
Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Once again, The Fault in Our Stars opens today nationwide, and for showtimes and tickets, just head to thebroadcasttv.com and click on today's links. Okay, when we come back, we are sitting down to chat with one of our favorite friends, Miss Nancy Lieberman, and then we are going to talk with the incredibly hunky Taye Diggs after that. Ooh, two hotties coming up. Don't move a muscle.